I don't know about you guys, but I am constantly asking myself whether or not Donald Trump is an incompetent individual or using some sort of deliberate strategy to spread a whole bunch of misinformation and disinformation around as a means to an end. We all know that Donald Trump is an incompetent buffoon, and I'm really not sure whether it's just incompetence or whether it is a deliberate strategy to degrade everybody's trust in anything around them as a means for him to grab more power. And he recently did one of these one-off press conferences down at Mar-a-Lago, and I got the exact same vibes. Donald Trump was talking about any given topic under the sun, and I couldn't tell whether he's just a fucking idiot or if this is some sort of deliberate strategy to distract people while they're doing more bad stuff on the back end. So let's go ahead and kick things off. First of all, Donald Trump was talking about Jack Smith. And then he goes on to say that, well, Jack Smith, he executes people. And he's going to execute all the people. What in the hell is he talking about?
They brought this moron out of The Hague. He's a mean guy. He's a mean, nasty guy. His picture was perfect because you look at his picture, you say, that's a bad guy with his robe, his purple robe. And he executes people. He shouldn't be allowed to execute people because he'll execute everybody. He's a nut job.
He's going to execute everybody. He's a nut job. Does Donald Trump think that Jack Smith is standing behind the glass and pressing the button for the electric chair? Is he administering the lethal injection in a prison near you? What in the world is Donald Trump talking about? And because Jack Smith tried to hold Trump accountable, Trump has to go after him. And I'm pretty sure that he is just so stupid and doesn't care about the truth that he is just willing to say anything about anybody to try to degrade their character. He then goes on to say that, well, look at what they've done with the showers, guys. They just go drip, drip, drip. This man needs to be put in an institution.
These people are crazy. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. They also want to go back, and they have already started that, to when you buy a faucet, no water comes out because they want to preserve. Even in areas that have so much water, you don't know what to do. It's called rain. Comes down from heaven. And they want to do, no water comes out of the shower. It goes drip, drip, drip. So what happens? You're in the shower 10 times as long, you know. No water comes out of the faucet. You want to wash your hands. They want to go back to even stronger than what they have right now. As you know, I ended that policy. You can have all the water you want.
I ended the policy so you can have all of the water you want. Donald Trump's brain is literally broken. These are the same talking points that he was using years ago. And now he is just recycling them because it worked for him last time? Is that the calculation that he's doing here? This man is a buffoon, and he's about to be the next president of the United States. And he's talking about how low-flow shower heads are somehow not dispersing enough. What is he talking about? Can somebody please get this man a hospital bed? Because there is something seriously wrong. He goes on to say that electric heat makes you itchy. Makes you itchy, guys.
He wants all gas heaters out of your homes and apartments. He wants them to be replaced by essentially electric heaters. I don't know what it is with electric. This guy loves electric. We're going to be ending the electric car mandate quickly, by the way. This guy loves electric. And we don't have enough electricity, and then we have AI where we need more, and he wants everybody to have an electric heater instead of a gas heater. Gas heater is much less expensive. The heat is much better. It's a much better heat. As the expression goes, you don't itch. Does anybody have a heater where you go and you're scratching? And that's what they want you to have. They don't want you to have gas where you don't have the problems of the electric.
This is not normal, folks. This is not how a president should be conducting himself in public. He's just riffing. He doesn't know what the hell he is talking about. He just has to degrade, electric heaters and instead advocate for gas heat? Because his donors are in the oil and gas industry? I mean, what is the calculation here? This is the first time I am ever hearing that electric heat somehow makes you itchy. This man is broken. And he's not even inaugurated yet. And this is the type of shit that he's talking about. He goes on to say that we need to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Pretty soon we're going to change, because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing, sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too, and the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers.
So he goes from talking about how Biden is somehow getting rid of like $50 trillion worth of assets. Then he goes to, we need to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And it is absolutely appropriate for us to do that. Then he goes on to Mexico and how they need to stop illegal immigration into the United States. This man is not well. It is a stream of consciousness. Whatever pops into Donald Trump's mind is what comes out of his mouth. And he's trying to read off some sort of paper here that his, campaign team gave him. I don't even know what he's reading. But it's not helping whatsoever. He cannot competently talk about any given subject. And if somebody can dig up a clip where Donald Trump actually sounds intelligent talking about a particular thing, please send it my way. Because I haven't seen it. This man is not well. And it's such an indictment on the United States that he's going to be our next president. I'll go ahead and show you a couple last clips. He is still on his rant about windmills. Listen to how he talks about how they just litter the country like paper.
And you can talk about windmills. They litter our country. They're littered all over our country, like dropping paper, like dropping garbage in a field. And that's what happens to them, because in a period of time, they turn to garbage. Most expensive energy ever. They only work if you get subsidy. The only people that want them are the people that are getting rich off windmills, getting massive subsidies from the U.S. government. And it's the most expensive energy there is. It's many, many times more expensive than clean natural gas.
So because there are many, many windmills across the country, he somehow ties that to they're being dropped like litter. Litter that goes in the garbage, that type of litter. This dude is like a third grader trying to coherently stumble through a coherent thought? He then goes on to say that, these windmills, they're still driving the whales crazy, guys.
And they're 25 stories tall, 40 stories. They have one 70 stories tall. The blades, they take 3 ships to ship them. It's crazy. They're dangerous. You see what's happening up in the Massachusetts area with the whales, where they had 2 whales wash ashore in, I think, a 17-year period. And now they had 14 this season. The windmills are driving the whales crazy, obviously.
Obviously, guys, it's the windmills. They are driving the whales crazy. Aside from there being no evidence that these windmills are somehow negatively impacting the whales like Donald Trump claims they are, this is just bonkers stuff. I feel like we are watching Donald Trump's campaign on repeat. These are the same talking points that he stumbled his way through, 4 or 5 years ago? Probably even back in 2015, he was using these same talking points. Donald Trump's brain is broken. He doesn't have any new thoughts. He doesn't have any new ideas. He can only talk about what he's already talked about, and he's doing it in a degraded way. And like I am saying before, I don't know if this is a deliberate strategy, which I find highly unlikely, or if his brain is just failing like we have never seen before. I think it's really getting worse. I mean, this press conference was insane. He was talking about invading or taking over Greenland with military force, but he wanted to make Canada a state through economic coercion. It was insane, people. This is not normal. And the crazy part about the whole thing is you have MAGA now running defense or holding these ideas up like they are somehow the best thing since sliced bread. Our country is sick, and Donald Trump is the tumor. I don't know what we are supposed to do when we have to combat so much misinformation and disinformation because Donald Trump has no respect for the truth. We have more or less half of the country living in a complete separate reality than the one that exists here on Earth. And it's because actors like Donald Trump have no fidelity to the truth and are willing to spread lie after lie after lie as long as it gets them ahead. And now we have to spend time going over this insanity instead of talking about actual policy ideas or ways to improve our government to make people's lives better. Donald Trump is a plague on this country. And I'm really anxious to see what the MAGA movement looks like when Donald Trump is gone. And believe you me, I cannot wait to read his obituary. So I will leave it there for now. If you got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share it with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. If you want to see how the MAGA movement and Donald Trump are trying to rewrite history as it pertains to January 6th, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.